Republican Arizona Congresswoman Debbie Lesko to discuss this very thing. Congresswoman, you and I have had conversations about this for quite some time. This is happening now. What's your reaction when you hear Rosenstein saying he wouldn't have signed off on these warrants if he knew about the troubles within the FBI?
Well, you know, it was his job to check into this, so it's disappointing, quite frankly. And this whole thing has uncovered how, I think, corrupt some of the people in the FBI were and how much they were intent on taking out President Trump and anybody related to President Trump. And so reforms need to be made to the FISA and to the FISA the court. It's very obvious to me that they were trying to take out President Trump, and it needs to be cleaned up. And I'm glad that the Senate is in Republican control, so they actually call in Rod Rosenstein and others to find out what exactly happened, because you know that's not going to happen in the Democrat-controlled House because they don't like President Trump and they want to oust him. So I'm glad at least the Senate is investigating this more.
Yeah, and this, again, happening right before us right now. We may hear more explosive testimony, but I think it's been explosive so far. He's already given in his opening testimony saying, hey, look, we know that Americans didn't collude with Russians. This is already out there. The Senate is going to go farther into this probe, calling more. We don't know exactly who's going to be called. I imagine, Congresswoman, James Comey may be among these. How confident are you with these senators getting this testimony, getting down to the bottom of what really happened?
Well, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. At least they're having the hearings and calling in these people, and I'm hopeful that the Durham investigation comes up with some criminal charges, because what happened to President Trump, Carter Page, General Flynn, and others is just atrocious. And the more evidence that comes out, the more evident it is to me that bad actors that hated President Trump were out to get President Trump and get him out of office. And so that's why this election coming up is so important, because can you imagine the House voted to impeach the President of the United States. They kept changing the reason that they wanted to do it. And if the Senate turns over to Democrat, and the president wins re-election, they're going to do it all over again. That's why this election is so vital to the future of our nation.
It absolutely is. In getting there, you would typically see a convention. I want to talk to you about this because President Trump, he took to Twitter last night announcing that Republicans will seek another state instead of North Carolina to hold its August convention. He says he loves North Carolina, but this is what he tweeted. Governor Cooper is still in shelter-in-place mode and not allowing us to occupy the arena as originally anticipated and promised. Would have showcased beautiful North Carolina to the world and brought in hundreds of millions of dollars in jobs for the state. Because of Governor Cooper, we are now forced to seek another state to host the 2020 Republican National Convention. Congresswoman, does the president come to Arizona?
Gosh, I sure hope so. I've been working on it. So as soon as I heard about the North Carolina issue yesterday, I was on the phone first with the mayor of Glendale, Arizona, which is in my congressional district, because we have Cardinals football stadium in our district. So I started working on it. I called the governor's office. I called the tourism industry, hotel industry, restaurant industry. I even texted the White House. And so I'm trying to create a buzz over here in Arizona to try to get the president to look at Arizona to host the Republican National Convention, because just like all over the country, our hotel industry and restaurant industry was really hurt by the coronavirus crisis. And so this would be a huge boon to the economy in Arizona, but also fantastic for Arizona. We're a swing state, so I really think this would help President Trump win Arizona and Martha McSally win Arizona.
Congresswoman, all great points, especially the part about the swing state. That would be interesting if we did. Look, if you hear from the president or anybody on his team, you got to come back to Newsmax to share that news with us. You got to promise me.
I will. I would be so excited. I was working on it as soon as I heard about it. I'm like, I want them to come to my district.
Yeah, it'll be exciting stuff. It's always great talking to you. I appreciate you coming on here. This Republican Arizona Congresswoman Debbie Lesko, live for us. Good to see you. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Got it.